Alright guys, welcome back. Per usual, I'm doing a bunch of videos today, so if you see like 3 videos with this blue hoodie on, that's why we're getting
these videos out, baby.
So this video is going to be tips on how to shoot in the desert. I recently went to the Mojave Desert with makeup artist Andrea Samuel, also my good friend Leah, and she has a new swimwear line called the Milt Swimwear, and so we wanted to shoot her debut swimwear line out in the desert, give it a cute feel, get a bit of vibe. So that's what we did. And I've shot in the desert before, but just not in the middle of August. So I'm gonna give you guys tips on how to prepare yourself for the desert and like what different things to expect when you are shooting in the desert. I have 3 tips to plan before, and then I'm gonna like cut to clips that we actually have from being in the desert. It was a really fun experience, and then I'll show you guys some of the photos that we took as well. So we went to the Mojave Desert. If you guys aren't from California, it is not too far from Death Valley, which all of these deserts are kind of in the same area. Joshua Tree, I think, is the first one, then it's Mojave, then it's Death Valley. So it just gets deeper and deeper as you go. And Mojave was about 3 hours away, 3-hour drive. It was probably the biggest desert I've been to. It's really big. It's very national parky. Like they didn't even have somebody at the entrance. It was just very like, this is it, this is the desert. Like Joshua Tree kind of has an entry, it's somebody there, you feel real comfortable, but this is like a desert, y'all. So what I'm gonna tell you is to prepare before you get out there, because the desert is real. It's real wildlife, it's real heat, it's real sun. God is really like, the desert is that's a real heat, y'all. Like we survived, but like, then thank God for my car. Like my car was really a trooper that day. Like we got through it, but it was overall a great experience. And I really like encourage photographers to get out and try to shoot in different environments and have fun with it, because ultimately at the end of the day, you do what you love to experience things as well through your work. So let's dive into these 3 tips. Number 1 is going to be hydrate. And I'm going to say hydrate beforehand. Hydrate maybe a day before. Drink lots of water. You know, while you're on the road driving there, you might not want to be drinking water, but I'm telling you guys, the heat in the desert, the sun is so potent and strong that you need to be hydrated. You need to have water already in your system. Number 2 is going to be not to go at 12 noon. We went at 12 noon only because we kind of fell behind on time leaving out, but I do not recommend to go at the hottest time of day, because that is going to be when the sun is highest in the sky, and it's going to be the hottest part of the day, and you're going to just have to take hella breaks to get shots. So I would recommend to either leave out at the crack of dawn, which would be like 3 a.m., so you can get there at sunrise and leave, or leave out midday, like maybe leave out at 12 and get there by like 4, so you can head out before sundown, and you can catch up really nice, like, because when the sun is setting, the sun is not as intense. And I think the peak of the day is like 11 a.m. to like 2 p.m. So that's like the hottest time of day. And that's when we were there like idiots. But we got the shots. So definitely be mindful of time as well while you plan these shoots to the desert. Number 3 would be to be aware of wildlife. We actually saw cattle.
We would have hella bulls. Like, what would we have done? Today we would have had to die today. I got this orange ass car.
It said it was a bull, Andrea said it was a bull, but I really think it was just cattle. Either way, it was a big ass like animal with horns. And so, like, I've been to the desert before, I just haven't seen animals that big. I've seen lizards, I've seen snakes, rabbits, like those kind of things kind of mind their business. But actual cattle is like, that's a real animal. So just be mindful of your surroundings. And like, I know sometimes we get so excited and we want to go out and shoot, but I think being prepared and knowing what you're diving into first is very important. And I'm just spreading the word to my fellow creatives here. So yeah, definitely be mindful of animals that you might run into. It's the wild. It's the wild. So definitely be mindful of that. Be safe. Bring a first aid kit with you. Bring water with you. Definitely prepare before you get in the desert. The last one is going to be conscious of the sun. And this is for more of the shooting portion of things, now that I kind of got the safety out the way. But when you're shooting in the desert, the sun is not like the sun in the city. Like, even if the sun, I don't like to shoot in the city at 12 noon. But shooting in the desert at 12 noon was actually not as bad. I did get really strange shadows on the face, but they still looked flattering. Like, her skin was glowing, her body looked great. Like, the sun in the desert, it's intense, but it's also still different. It's kind of like the concept that the sun is different in different places. Like in California, our sun is way more flattering for pictures in general than it opposed to in the Midwest. I'm from the Midwest, and I remember shooting in the Midwest outside, and the photos will always be so harsh. The lighting in the Midwest is a very harsh lighting. Unless it's like no sun at all, it's perfect. But when it is sun, it's very harsh, like straightforward, straight shadows lighting. And it's crazy because the world has different ways that it lights the earth. Even like if you go to Paris, the lighting is completely different in Paris than it is in China. So being aware of, how the lighting will be in the desert, and it is a harsh light, but it's very flattering, which is, it's very strange, but I recommend people to try to shoot in the desert, because overall it is a good experience. You end up getting amazing images because it's so much open space, the sun is there, and it's just perfect, y'all. One thing I don't recommend for the desert is going to be a reflector. Please do not bring a reflector to put on your model. Maybe if you're using it above your model's head to block the sun, but never use one to reflect light, because that sun in the desert is a different type of intense and could possibly burn you if you don't have on SPF 50. Even if you do, it's just so strong out there that I don't recommend reflectors. So I didn't even bring one. We kind of just did really natural lighting and called it a day, because being in the heat already, it's like you just want to kind of wrap it up. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about, is being prepared before you go into the shoot. We had 4 swimsuits that we needed to shoot, so we made sure that we got at least 20 images from each one of them, taking breaks in between. This is very important because you don't want to just start shooting and shoot out full on and use all your energy up from one thing, because you still got to get out of the desert. So I recommend to shoot one thing, take a water break, even like spraying your model with water and like making sure that they're hydrated, because it is a really intense thing to shoot in the desert. Whether it is midday or the sun is setting, it is very hot out there, guys. Like, I think it was 111 degrees, which is insane. Like, in the desert, you think that's not a lot, but that's like an oven. Like, you really cooking. So like, just be mindful of the rays of sun. Make sure you guys bring a hat, and the team is like really safe. And if you have any time, get back in the car, get in the air conditioner, cool down, and then go back out and get the shot. So hopefully this video, guys, is kind of informative. It was a little all over the place, but I just wanted to talk about it and share with you guys some of the clips and photos from this desert run, because I know these kind of photo shoots are very interesting, and a lot of creatives are always intrigued about on location things and how to do it, how to go about it. And this is like a few of just like the structuring tips. Like other than this, it would be just making sure your team is like really solid and that everybody is down to like for the experience. Like that's what it is at the end of the day, because it's gonna be an experience. So I'm gonna leave some bloopers from the shoot for you guys to view after this. But other than that, I hope this video helps anybody that is looking to do on location shoots, and keep mastering your gaze out there. I'll be back. Peace.
We out here on the trip.
My brothers cut him in on anything. Ain't get no case.
If this was a good idea or not. I'm like, should we go all the way? I know, right? Should we go all the way, or should we just like keep it real cute? I'm like, are you serious? Let's not go into deep. We're not going to. We're going to just pull over here.
It's the flow that got the block hot.
This is what we need the Wrangler for that. No, literally. The deportation cones out on the side.
We out here. We made it.
Here we are. We're in the wild. We're in the safari. We just saw a bull.
Tip for shooting in the desert: no wigs.
No wigs, Leah. No more wigs. Yeah.
This is
And that is a wrap. We made it.